All right, we're going to do a three-stock lunch here in the top half of the program today because of the airline news. Here with our trades is Aadil Zaman. He's a partner with Wall Street Alliance Group. First up, Aadil, welcome. We're glad to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
Fantastic. Let's talk about Boeing. The company, of course, still dealing with those 737-9 MAX jets. The shares are flat today, down about 10% on the week. The trade here, Aadil.
So for us, this would be a sell because, this is a company, every time it seems like they've got things back on track, another major catastrophe like this happens and it derails stuff, right? So they just finished a very strong year with increased plane deliveries, and now investors have to deal with this type of a catastrophe again. We just feel that from an investment point of view, there are so many other opportunities available out there that we would simply stay clear of Boeing. So for us, it would be a sell.
Okay, let's move on to JetBlue then, because that's a whole other story today. The CEO has announced his plans to step down in February. They're waiting on the judge's ruling on that merger with Spirit, of course. They got a downgrade this morning saying shares could go to $3. They're just over $5 right now. What would you do?
I would sell, Kelly, because, I sympathize with the CEO, and it was a very tough job. Like when you are in the airline industry, it's razor-thin margins. It's survival of the fittest, right? And you need to have a certain amount of scale in order to do well in that business. And JetBlue simply did not have that scale, right? And also, they're very domestically focused. So they're not really benefiting from the increase in international travel like some of the other larger airlines are benefiting from. And because they don't have a brand loyal customer, they are unable to pass along the higher cost in fuel and labor in terms of higher prices to their customers. So we would say that this is, again, this would be a sell.
Well, speaking of a stock, a company that does benefit from the strength of international travel, that would be Delta Airlines, close now to placing a huge wide-body order with Airbus. Those shares up about 1% today. Aadil, your trade on Delta, I think we've got one here that isn't United and isn't Alaska, which may be one of the strongest things going for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that this is so the reason why we like Delta is for the exact opposite reasons that we don't like JetBlue, right? So Delta has the scale, right? It's the largest player in that industry. They have a very niche market focus. So they've figured out they're going to cater to the higher income earners. So this gives them the ability to charge a premium pricing, which their customers are willing to pay for the luxury. It also gives them the ability to be able to pass on the higher cost because their customers tend to be more brand loyal. And in terms of international travel, they've benefited tremendously from it, especially traveling from America to Europe. We, as a family, took 2 vacations last year to Europe, and the airports were jam-packed. And Delta is benefiting from this trend.
So are you saying, I'm curious on this, if I were to take a flight from New York to Rome on Delta, if they go there, Delta would have a higher price than if I were to do that same flight on another American airline?
So we feel that, Delta, when we were looking for flights, we felt that Delta was very expensive. And a lot of times, customers are willing to pay for the luxury,
right,
because their customers do tend to be the higher income earners. So yes, a lot of times the prices would be higher. They also have the largest frequent flyer program of the US-based network carriers, which is also a very high margin business for the company. So they have different sources of revenue.
Yeah.
And that's why we are constructive on this one. This one would be our favorite in that space.
That's interesting because Delta certainly does have the reputation of being able to avoid some of the operational difficulties that have affected other airlines. Aadil, thank you very much. We'll have you back. Thank you.
Thank you.